What's your anniversary for your actual wife?
Oh, which one? Not which one. Not which one.
All right, so the anniversary of your marriage, not when you guys first started dating. Listen, as a man, I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Thank God, because that sounded like which wife.
I know.
Can you hear this thing squeaking every time I move?
I can hear it, but I don't think it's gonna be that big of an issue. You good? Should look like a seal, and not a Navy one.
No. Yo, me and this air right in front of me right now. This air might be pregnant.
What? You're having a moment. The same moment I had a couple episodes ago with my hat. You remember that?
Oh, shit. My phone. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode...
This is 6.
This is 6?
This is 6. Episode 6. Yeah.
All right. Welcome back to the Peak Performance Podcast, episode 6, where today we're going to be talking about some relationship advice.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. We're going to take a break kind of from talking about some fitness, even though I think even good relationships tie into your fitness life.
Dude,
right?
for sure, yeah.
Big time, because if your relationships aren't really going that great. I know that the gym is like, people's safe haven.
Well, either your relationship is going really well and the gym falls by the wayside, or your relationship is going very well and you accelerate in the gym, or she cheated on you and now you're a monster.
Yeah, or she cheated on you, or your friends aren't. I've seen people have like problems with their friends and they just have no motivation to do anything.
Yeah.
So relationships definitely affect your mindset. If you hear my kids in the background, they're just being kids.
They are just out of control.
Yeah. So.
You want to just go down the list of like...
yeah, sure. Do you want to talk about that number one?
Yeah, I'll talk about the number one. So, ladies and gentlemen, to prepare for these episodes, we usually put down like a little... We have an Excel spreadsheet, right? Yeah. So we put down notes, and so if you see me looking over here all the time, it's because I'm looking at and referencing notes. So we like to try to be a little bit prepared for these.
Yeah.
We try.
So,
I'm gonna go with number one.
Are you? I feel like number one. You could send that. You could try to say that differently. Yeah, say that a little differently.
You want to censor it?
I know you were just joking, but it's kind of true.
Dude, so
it's kind of true.
So the first talking point that I wrote down was.
Go ahead, say it. I'll just beep it.
Yeah, all right. Roger that. So, first thing that I wrote down is don't be a dickhead. Right? And it's true, man. Even if, people are being a problem towards you, the first step in building a relationship really is actually just to, like, put your ego aside, you put everything aside and say, okay, I'm gonna do what I need to do to build this here relationship.
Yeah.
By not being exactly that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it is a joke. It is kind of funny, but at the same time, it's very true.
It's true. I feel like what comes between a lot of people is being prideful and very opinionated.
Yeah.
A lot of people can be so closed off to hearing other people's opinions. Charlie Kirk said it once before. He said that, if we stop talking, that's when violence starts happening.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I agree with that big time, because people need to learn how to talk things out.
Yeah.
We're all grown adults, right? So learn how to talk things out and try to be mature enough to be able to talk things out in a mature manner.
Yeah. Even if you disagree, don't. I love watching people like just completely disagree with an argument and then have zero evidence or way to back it up.
Right. That's
It's-
big pet peeve of mine. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. Have you ever heard of Frank Turek?
No.
So Frank Turek was actually one of Charlie Kirk's mentors, and Frank Turek kind of did the same thing that Charlie Kirk did. Is he would go around to colleges and debate people openly, and he would never shame them. He would just say, "Where did you get that info?" and stuff like that. Yeah. You guys get a chance, definitely go check out Frank Turek. He would mainly debate the Bible and political issues of today and stuff like that. And this one guy, he was an atheist, right? And if that's what you believe, that's what you believe. From our standpoint, we're Christians, so we side with Frank Turek on the things that he says and what he debates.
Maybe I haven't heard him, so don't.
But I actually sent it to Kim one time, and I was like, "Yo, have you seen this guy?" And she said that you guys watched it. It probably was one
really?
of the clips, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I think you guys were like, "Oh, sweet," like I like what he's saying, you know.
Cool.
But this guy was debating him. He was a college student, and so Frank Turek was like, "So who? So where are you getting your info?" And the guy was pretty much like, "Well, I'm just saying that you're not right." Like he didn't have any information to back it up.
Science told me.
Right. So the thing is Frank goes, "I can appreciate you coming up and talking."
Yeah.
He's like, "But that's like two detectives showing up to a crime scene and one detective saying, 'Well, I know the guy, it's this, this, and this because of this, this, and this.' And the other detective saying, 'Nope, that's not the guy.'" And the other detective saying, "Well, who do you think it is?" He's like, "I don't know, but that's not the guy. It's not him."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, well, back it up.
Give me something.
Yeah, so it's okay to agree to disagree, right? So to your point, in other words, put your pride aside, that's where a lot of arguments happen. So
Yeah.
I think when it comes down to what is the foundation of building a good relationship?
Yeah.
Communication.
Yep.
Communication,
Yeah, dude. I mean, how many times we've had disagreements, even you and I,
Oh, yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah.
you can just talk about it and
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah. I think when you and Kim first started dating, or even before you guys really started dating,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. We were dating first. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So we had many disagreements.
Yeah.
But it was just a good talk.
Yeah. That's all, man.
That's it. You know what I mean? It was a good talk. To where I feel like other people would be like, "Yo, that should be a heated debate." It's like, no. Because we grown.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And look at us now. Now we talk every week about things,
We
you know?
literally- yeah.
Look what that grew into.
Correction every day.
That
Every
is-
day,
yeah,
every day,
that's also true.
That's true. That's true. But that's what it grew into. Like imagine if when we first started talking, we let that get under our skin.
Yeah.
Like this would never happen.
Yeah.
Like whatever this grows into be, wherever
Yeah.
the Lord takes it,
Yeah.
imagine if we allowed those heavy conversations, because they weren't just like, "Oh, well, we had a 30-minute conversation."
You like chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream, and I like
It wasn't, yeah. Yo, it was like heavy issues,
Yeah.
right? And it was hours. Like you would come over to our house, right? And we would like debate, but not debate, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
it wasn't really that. It was
No, we were
literally
just sharing. We were sharing our viewpoints
Yeah.
with each other, and that was it. It was
Yeah.
like, this is my viewpoint. Here's
Yeah.
why I believe this.
Right.
And then you're like, well, here's my viewpoint. And this is why I
right,
believe it.
right. Just imagine if we
Yeah.
allowed that.
Yeah. Any
and-
sort of positivity that comes out of this would just be,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and this is what the Lord grew it into, and you know what? I'm thankful for it. So moving on to our next point, right? So first point was put your pride aside,
Yep.
right?
I like my wording better.
Yeah, well, we are working on the language, right? Paul tells us, that righteous men shouldn't,
Yeah.
crude humor and
So, one of the fellowship that I do on Fridays, shout out Blue Bearing Solutions.
hey.
They, so Kyle is the guy that runs it. Kyle Morgan, if y'all haven't heard of him, go look him up. He's a really good dude. Anyway, he runs it, and he a while ago stopped cussing, and so his method of holding himself accountable for doing that was every time he said a cuss word, he would have to do a burpee.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I was telling a story the other day about how I absolutely obliterated my head at work, like head/neck.
Oh.
I was walking like through a thing, right? And I had my head down, hard hat on and everything. And there's a bar that's about, I don't know, 4 inches lower than everything else. And you're walking with your head down, and that brim is, it comes down a little bit, so you can't see anything.
Yeah.
You can't like look out of your periphery and see anything.
Yep.
So I'm walking like this, and this bar, dude, I just smoke
you.
it. Like I'm a 240-pound dude walking at 2.5 to 3 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And then you just absolutely obliterated my entire, like, what would that be? No, it'd be whatever. Anyway, upper neck area.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, I see spine. Anyway, so I was telling him this story, and I was like, yeah, if I had signed the contract, I would have had to have done about 837 burpees.
Yeah. I mean, we've all been there. We're not perfect. We are Christians. And we're trying our best to live as holy as possible. Because the Lord says to be holy as your Father is holy.
Yep.
So we're not perfect. We are flawed, just like y'all. I know there's gonna be people in the comments that talk about sometimes of the language. We're trying. You know what I mean? Just like you're trying. It reminds me of Jesus when he says the first to not have sinned cast the first stone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if y'all are gonna start nailing us for things, take the plank out of your own eye, right?
Yeah. So I think we went like what? Besides the first episode, I think we went like 5 episodes without cussing. So
yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah,
and I mean
right.
that one's not a severe. Whatever.
No, but I know we share
degrees.
we share these Excel spreadsheets. So I know you put that in to be funny, and then I put you first.
I put it in to be funny, but also I'm serious.
It's true.
But anyway,
it's true.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next point. So
Yeah.
you weren't I know I can
created.
You weren't created to live this
got you.
life alone, right? A lot of people have selfish attitudes,
Okay.
and or I should say, or can have selfish moments. And I think that's one of the things that can really kill a relationship fast is not taking control of the selfishness that we can have in our hearts. So when I wrote that we weren't created to live in this life alone, God created us for relationships. The Bible says that God created us to love him. Like, that's why he gave us free will. He wanted us to openly love him. Right. It doesn't feel like love when you're forced to be loved. Right.
Yeah. Well, that's just slavery.
Perfectly said.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of it a better way. You know what I mean? It's like putting a gun to somebody's head, like, yo, you gonna love me, right?
Well, that's a different thing. But
It's almost like psychotic, right?
Yeah.
But God gave us free will to choose to love him, right? You can live for yourself. You're gonna end up dying alone, right? Or you can love him, and love others and receive love back.
Yeah.
We tell our kids all the time, listen. We actually say it every morning. So we homeschool our kids, and in the morning we always say the pledge, and then I created a family mission statement, only because years ago I was being mentored by somebody in our church, and he asked me a really tough question. He said, as the head of the household, what is your family mission? And I had no answer. No answer. And which made me feel like, how could I lead this family if I don't have a mission?
Yep.
So every morning I make my kids recite our family mission statement. I won't go through the whole thing. Maybe I'll put it up. Maybe I'll edit it in here, and maybe you guys can share it. But one part of the mission statement is I value and serve and take care of others, and damn, it's almost like I got to say the whole thing. I value, serve, and take care of others, and God will take care of me. Right? So God loves a cheerful giver, and he loves somebody that serves, right? Jesus says the greatest among you will be your servants. So the greatest people in the world are the people that serve,
Right.
Right? Jesus came down to serve us. And in turn, we serve him.
Yep.
Right? So,
Yeah.
we are,
Remember how a couple weeks ago I went into that whole thing through
that life group?
John? Yeah. I was talking about John, and you know, there's the one verse. There's no greater love than for a man to lay down his life for his friends.
Yes.
There's that last little word really changes how you look at Christ, right?
Right.
He didn't say, to lay down one's life for his servants or his
Right.
whatever. He said friends.
Right.
Like that kind of tells you right there the heart of God
Right. Right.
is essentially friendship, man.
Yeah.
Like it's not this huge, heavy, weighty, I just serve him. Like you serve him, sure,
Right.
but as a friend, not like as a servant.
Right.
Right.
It's not like it's when you're serving somebody as a friend, you're serving out of just like a humble heart. You know what I mean?
Love.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's not a heavy serving.
No.
Sure, there's going to be times where you have to, you're going to be inconvenienced, right? Monica and I used to say this all the time. It's, true love is inconvenient, where you don't mind being inconvenienced by helping out a loved one. When somebody says, hey man, can you come help me? I'm in the middle of something. Yes, I'll be there, right? That's a true friend. That's true brotherhood or sisterhood, right?
Yep.
And one thing that I love about Jesus is, I can't remember if it's that verse. So he says, lay down your life for a friend, right? He keeps calling us friend. And then later I'm pretty sure he calls us brothers and sisters.
I'll
I'll look it up. Listen, we're not Bible experts, right? We're still learning, but I'll look it up. But I'm pretty sure when he asked the Lord, when he asked God, what you give me, I give to them, right? So that we can share the same inheritance, right? So yeah, I mean, serving a brother or sister or friend is different than serving like an acquaintance, you know, when really I think, we should serve all the same way. That's how we share the love of Christ, is by serving and treating people the same way equally. We just had a couple maintenance guys move in across the way over here, and I won't lie, man. And when they first showed up, it was kind of hard to love them because they were so forceful. And what I mean by that is, man, they were invading my space. Me and my brother-in-law, we were outside. We were building this bench outside for my nephew, and this guy he came up and was like, "Yo, if I give you money, can you pay my phone bill?" Yeah,
excuse me?
Forceful, right? And I was like, "Excuse me." So at that, like, you don't just come up to
why
some.
didn't you give the phone company the money?
Well, I didn't know his situation, so they don't. I'll just say they're not from around here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well,
so I don't know what. So these are the same guys that are renovating the house, the apartments and stuff, right? So he's like, "Yo, if I give you the money, can you pay my phone bill for me?" I'm like, you didn't mention your name, nothing like that, right? So they ended up moving in over here, and every time I was outside, he'd come up and we'd just start talking, and just more and more we started talking. I started to know, not by choice. I started to find out more and more about him. Like he would just come up and he would just start and a lot of times, even while he was working, he was drunk, right? And you could just smell it on him. And like I said, not by choice, we would be having these conversations, and he would just be unloading like his life story on me, right? I didn't even know his name yet, right? But he's like, "Oh, my wife, she had throat cancer. She back in the DR," and that, like, just going off. And he always hit me with these talks in the worst moments. I could be like on my way out to do something, and he was like, yo, can I talk to you for a second? And I'm like, yep, and
the accent, dude.
yeah, but it's, so you get where I'm coming from, right?
Yeah, I do.
So,
I do.
The worst times he would want to have these conversations.
Yeah.
But I feel like in those moments, God was telling me, hey, you just need to listen. And that's all I did.
Yep.
I just listened. And lo and behold, he moved in over here. And I'll tell you what, man, my first instinct was like, yo, I gotta deal with this guy. Now they move all around the complex, right? As
Yeah.
they're renovating these apartments. And he's only gonna be there for like a month or so, maybe, right? Because he says, "Oh, we're gonna move over here, but just for not too long, temporary." I was like, "All right, yeah, no problem." But every time I'm out there, he hits me. He catches me.
Yeah.
He'll talk to my kids. Will be out there and be like, "Yo, where's your dad?" So I'm getting ready. Last weekend, I'm getting ready to go hunting. I come out the door, and I hunt right out back here. So I'm coming out the door. I'm in my hunting gear, and this guy comes up to me. Yo, you can serve me a juice? I was like, what do you mean, like a Capri Sun? Like a juice. I'm thinking like a real juice. He's like, no, like yeah, you could hit me with a juice or a seltzer, but with like some alcohol in it. I'm like, oh no, man, I'm sorry, I don't drink. I haven't drank for 10 years. He's like, oh, you go to church? Now I didn't say anything about going to church.
Yeah.
I just said no, I just don't drink, and that's all it took, bro. And he just starts talking, yeah, I always used to go to church for 12 years, and my wife got throat cancer. I can't tell you how many times I've heard these stories.
Yeah.
So he just starts unloading, and he's like, and by the end of the conversation, he's like, yo, I tell you what, I'm gonna get dressed. I'm gonna get close, and I'm gonna go to church. You go and take me to church. Mind you, this whole time, I haven't really said a word other than I don't drink. I haven't drank for 10 years.
Yeah.
Right. So he's like, I'm gonna get some clothes, and I'm going to church. I'm going to your church. I'm like, all right, man, no problem. He's like, okay, I tell my boss, she gives me money, and I'm going to your church. Yeah, sure, no problem. So that was the end of that conversation. A couple days go by. He comes limping out of his house, and he's got bad discs and stuff like that. And him and I just start having another conversation about his whole life story. Yet again, he's drunk.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, I tell you, I'm going to church. I'm gonna go to church. So then I was all right, and that at that time we were like, I was kind of like, all right, you know what, this is a big inconvenience to me, but I just felt like Jesus was telling me, you need to show love to this man, show love to this man. And it's, and one thing he said to me was, it's easy to spread the love of Jesus to people that you feel safe doing it to. Right.
Okay.
So not that I was scared of him, but it was, I didn't feel like it. Right. So like when you see people, when people want to be evangelical, is that the right term?
Yeah.
When they want to be evangelical, it's like, oh yeah, they look like a good person. They look like they might receive it. They look like they might. Well, how about the ones that look like they may not receive it?
Yeah.
Right? How about try to spread the word to them, right? Not forcefully, but sometimes it's like those people that have a hard time receiving it is nobody's ever listened to their story, right?
Yep.
And I feel like that's what the Lord was telling me. So I was listening to this guy out here, and this is probably the fifth time he's talked to me. I'm not even gonna call it a conversation.
The fifth time he's talked at you.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna call it a conversation. So fifth time he's talked at me, and so we end that conversation. The next time we're out there, so I'm sorry. The next time he catches my ear, I'm on my way back in. It's like 9:30 at night. I forget where we're coming back from, and he's outside on his porch smoking a cigarette with his other roommate, and he goes, yo, can I talk to you? I was like, yeah. And he comes up, he's like, man, I hate doing this, but my boss owes me some money. And as soon as he said that, you already know where it's going. So I'm thinking he's about to ask me for like $500, $1,000 or whatever, just something just off the wall. So he goes, listen, could you just loan me a couple bucks to buy me a pack of cigarettes? I'm like, oh, yeah, whatever. Now, mind you, because I don't know him, I'm hesitant about taking out my wallet. So I take it out and I'm like watching him. You know what I mean? So I take him out, I'm watching him. I'm like, yeah, man, here you go. Yo, I give it back to you. And like, instantly my first reaction was, I'm not going to get it
No
back.
chance.
I'm not going to get it back.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no problem, man. Don't worry about it. Like, at that point, I'm like, yo, it's a blessing to you. I know $20 will buy you a pack of cigarettes and maybe a couple of other things, right? So I'm just like,
A
don't
bag
worry
of
about it.
cigarettes and a tall boy.
Right. So I'm like, do what you need to do with it, right? So we go in the house. Next day, I'm taking the kids for a walk over on the other side of the complex. And now I told you this guy is one of the maintenance guys renovating the places, and he comes out of the one. Well, so the kids are a little ways up ahead of me, and I see them go, "Hey," because the kids just like to just say hi to people, and I'm like, "That's okay
Everybody.
as long as I can see you."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're within range, and so they're like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Who are they saying hey to?" And I walk up a little further, and it's this guy Ray. His name's Ray, and Ray, he's coming out of the garage, and he genuinely kind of looked concerned. He's like, "What you doing so far away from home?" Like, kind of like, "What are you doing? Where's your father?" Type of deal.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." But I was like, "Yo, I'm right here." He's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Yo, when I get home tonight, I got you. I got you." I was like, "Oh, he's gonna pay me back, right?" So we get home, and I figured, like, again, me kind of having like that shallow moment was like, maybe he's just saying that, right? So still, I don't expect the $20 back, right?
Yep.
So we get home later that day. The kids are outside playing out front, and Manaya comes in. She goes, "Hey, that guy's out front. He wants to talk to you." I was like, "All right." So we go out front, and he genuinely pays me the $20 back, right? So kind of shame on me for kind of like having that thought, right? So we get into another conversation, right? Now he's Dominican, right? And he says, "I'm Spanish. Sorry for so," because he's always like touching. He just talks with his hands, right? And he's just the whole time, and he's drunk too at the same time. So he's talking and he's patting, and we just start having this conversation about I can't even remember that conversation, but it leads into a random conversation. It's like, "Oh, yo, what I wanted to tell you was my heart doctor called me, and they said that everything looks fine, but he has this disease." He said, "We don't really know how to explain this, but you have this disease in your heart where you could live for 100 years or you could live for another hour." And he was like, and it was just such an out of the blue thing to just bring up to a stranger.
Yeah.
And right then and there, God was like, "You need to pray for him." So I was like, "All right," you know what I mean? Like, this is the type of relationship him and I have had. Like, he's talked to me,
Yeah.
and it hasn't been really like that type of relationship, right? To where I'm like, "Can I pray for you?" You know? So I was like, in the middle of him talking, I was like, "Yo, can I pray for you?" He was like, "What?" Like, he was very taken back. I was like, "I think I need to pray for you." I was like, "Can I pray for you?" And he was just like, he kind of got a little emotional. He was like, "Why you want to pray for me, man?" And I was like, "Because I feel like I have to. I feel like the Lord's telling me I need to pray for you." I'm getting goosebumps talking about it again. So he comes over, and instead of just like standing there receiving, he gives me like this bear hug, and I just start praying, man. And I feel like I'm just praying, like it's not even me. It's just blah, 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 just coming out. And he starts getting emotional, man. And now I told you he had back problems. And he just looks up, and he just like, he starts to get emotional. And all of a sudden he goes, oh, my back. Why is it hurting? And like he starts getting so fired up to where Manaya starts to get worked up, and she goes run upstairs to Monica. We have the window open up in our room, and Monica's working in the room, and she can hear he's getting kind of like, "Yo, you prayed and now it's getting worse." And I just started rebuking him, man, because I'm like, "Listen, I think the enemy's trying to shake something up in you, and I think he's trying to distract you from what God's trying to do right now." So we rebuke it, and bro, I was just rebuking that thing like crazy. And he's like, "I think I just need to sit down." He sits down, and right then and there, he asked God to come back into his life, and he's like, "Lord, you are my refuge. You are my Lord and Savior. I know what you've done. You know what I've done. I'm sorry." And he just comes right back in, bro. And I just told him, I was like, "Do you know the story of the prodigal son?" And he never knew the story of the prodigal son, bro. Never knew it. So I told him about it. I said, God coming back to you with open arms. Whew. Man, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm getting all
Fired up.
Yeah, man. And he stood up, man. The back pain was gone. It was so bad to the point where he had to sit down. You know what I mean? And he stood up and he was like, yo, it's gone. And he just started getting like emotional and grateful at the same time. Now at this time, I told you he was getting so worked up. Monica heard the commotion and she came down. She's like, I felt like I had to come down and be in agreement. And Monica came down and he was just like, yo, can I tell you something? He was like, you guys don't know me. You don't know what I've done. He's like, but for as long as I've been here, you guys have shown me so much love. He's like, you've shown me so much love, and your beautiful wife has shown me so much love. He's like, and your kids, they're just so joyful, you know. He's like, and sometimes all we need to be shown is love. This man had no idea what my thoughts were.
Yeah, right.
No idea what my thoughts were. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But because I was diligent in just putting that aside and just saying, I'm just gonna do what I feel like God's telling me to do. You know, this dude had a chance to feel love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And his whole family's in the DR. And I don't know if you guys heard about what's going on in the DR right now. In the whole Caribbean, there's like that massive storm coming through. So, but his wife is going through some things. His daughter's going through some things. And now his whole country's going through some things, you know? So it's like, and this time is when he needs to feel love the most, you know? So if I had given into my selfish mindset in those times, I could have just been like, kids, get inside, don't talk to that man, right?
Yep.
Put that aside. He was not easy to deal with. He still lives over there. Sometimes he's not easy to deal with, but sometimes he just needs somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But so after that, he's like, yo, I'm gonna cook for you, man. Have you ever had a DR salad? I'm like, what's that? He's like, oh, bro, you know, oysters, shrimp, steak, and all these. He's like, I'm gonna cook it for you. You know? So it's like, we started to build that little bit of relationship,
yeah,
regardless of how I was feeling. And I'm thankful that I didn't give in. I'm thankful that I wasn't a number one, a D head, right? I put my pride aside, and I'm not saying that everything I did was perfect, but one thing I did control was my mouth and my actions.
Yep.
And it opened him up to be able to come back to church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did he come with you?
So I told him this upcoming weekend wasn't a good weekend because I was on sound because I get to church really, really early.
Yep.
He's going to New York City. He literally made it a point. Monica took the dog out to walk when we got back from church, and he came out. He's like, yo, how was church? And she was like, it was good. He's like, I'm going back to New York City this week. He's like, I'm gonna pick up some clothes for next week because he told me that he was on for sound and yada yada. So I'm praying that we'll see him next week, you know, and that he starts to progress back through, you know, his walk with the Lord, you know. So, woo, that was
fired up, dude.
Yeah, man. It's been a rough couple weeks, you know. It is, man, you know, and it's a testing, you know, but it's those things that we need to go through to, one, figure out or find out where am I lacking in my relationship building skills. Right. And I found out, like before, when I looked at myself, I'm like, man, I love everybody. I get along with everybody. But I feel like the Lord was testing my heart in that situation was, you do love everybody, but sometimes you can be distant. Like right off the rip, I can be distant. And it wasn't from like a discrimination standpoint, because everybody know I don't discriminate whatsoever, right? Even though as I was explaining that story, it felt like I was, but it's the protector in me.
It was the accent.
But the whole situation, it was the protector in me as a father and a man.
Yeah.
I don't know you. You're coming too close to my family.
Yeah.
So I need to make sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all that it was, you know? And it was like the fifth conversation before I even knew what his name was. You know what I mean? And every time he would talk to me, he'd get too close to me. Mm-hmm. So
close talker. He was a close talker.
Yes, and so he's all, you know. So if you guys meet him, that's just him. He's all, you know what I mean?
I'll just keep walking backwards.
Yeah. So
see how long he chases.
Yeah.
Me.
So but like I said, I wasn't discriminating. It was the protector in me that was checking that radar. Like, okay, who is this man? You know, where are you what are your intentions?
Yep.
Are you a wolf in sheep's clothes? Like even still today, even though I have that relationship with him now,
Yeah.
I still haven't let him in fully.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
I'll
yeah.
be there for you, but I'm not letting you in just yet. You know?
Absolutely.
And that's healthy. I have set up a healthy boundary. One thing that I learned a long time ago is that, and we all know this, especially you, Kim, no is a perfectly acceptable answer.
Yep.
A lot of people think that building a good relationship.
Who told you that?
Oh, she heard it from you, but
Yeah.
Andy told it to me. One of our mentors from church.
Yeah, Andy told it to me too.
I'm still working on that one, because I always believe that, we talk about serving and serving with a whole heart and a loving heart. But sometimes we allow our backs to overload our mouth. Sometimes we allow our mouth to overload our backs. That's what I meant to say, by saying yes too much, so, setting up healthy boundaries, that should have been a note in here. Actually,
Well, it kind of is.
what kills relationships? Not setting up boundaries.
Yeah.
know?
That's one of them. Yeah.
Just because you're good friends doesn't mean your friends have to be in all of your business.
Yes.
And it also means that you don't have to be in all your friends' business.
That also.
So we got to stop being nosy, and we also have to stop being dependent upon friends. I like what Frank said last week in Life Group. He said when he was telling his turtle story.
Yep.
And he told God, he's like, Lord, please help that turtle to get across the street. And he said, God said to me, don't ask me for the things you should be doing.
Don't ask me for the things that you can do yourself.
Right. So yeah,
Yeah.
kind of almost the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like people ask other people to do things that they should be doing.
Yep. Yep.
I think that sometimes friends are too dependent on friends.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have a few people that, and nothing wrong with it. I have a few people that reach out to me quite often saying, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do that? I'm like, but you can too.
Yeah.
You can do that. 100%. There's nothing wrong with, so those are the people I'm like, no.
You know what you are? You're the community easy button.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm working on
I'm
it.
not saying well, yeah. That's not a generality or like a general rule thing. It's more of like a you can be that.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say that you are that. I'm
Yeah.
saying you can be.
Yeah.
Like
the
people
quick,
can
easy
take
fix.
people can take advantage of your charity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not me. Nobody
Well-
tells me to do anything.
Well,
Nobody asks me for anything.
Yeah. I like to keep, I guess you could call it an open door policy.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you always leave with something. You can come in, and ask, but you may not leave with what you want. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, sometimes I have those moments, and I feel like this is when people take the most advantage of me, is when I'm in a season of serving. When I'm just in a season of, what can I do now? You know what I mean? That's when I overload myself, personally.
Yep.
I know this past summer was huge. I feel like I was talking to you guys about it all the time.
Yeah.
You
Well, I
know.
mean, when we were trying to get this thing started, I
Yeah.
can't do this, and this, blah, 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 blah.
Right. I had to get all the projects taken care of, right?
Yep.
So, which, like I said, it's not a bad thing, but when I become so busy that I don't even have time to pray, that's bad.
That's a problem.
Yeah. So what could kill relationships? Not setting up boundaries. Set up health. What are some healthy boundaries? Can we talk about those? We should have gave Kim a microphone too, because
Yeah.
I'm sure you and I can share. Can you pop in on this? Pop in over here. We talk about boundaries all the time.
Yeah.
In the comments, please tell us what some of your like complete no-go boundaries are. Like if you have some things that in order to be, maintain a relationship with you, you're like 100% do not do this. Throw that in the comments. I would love to hear what everybody's hard boundaries are for their own personal lives and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like
What's yours? What do you got?
what's one of mine? One of my boundaries. I have a hard time with victim mentalities. So when somebody calls me up for advice,
Yep.
now I'm not saying that my advice is always right, but I get frequent calls.
But there's a reason you call him.
Yeah, right. So, but when people call me for advice, and they just talk to me about a thing, right? And then they call me back, and we have the same conversation a week later.
Yeah.
Right. At that point, it's no longer the situation; it's you.
Yep.
Right. It's like, why are you not doing this thing?
Yep.
Right. So I have a really hard and their reasoning for not doing the thing is, oh well, because of this, because of that, and granted, there are some good reasons why something can't be dealt with, but when it can clearly be you, and you're just not taking responsibility, that's what I have a hard time with. And that's where I start drawing the line of, all right, next time you call me, if it's not an emergency, I'm not picking up.
Yep.
Because sometimes I will take those phone calls in the middle of having dinner with my family.
Yep.
So a boundary that I am now setting in place is when I'm with my family, if my actual family is not calling me, I don't really pick up for friends anymore.
Yeah. Check.
I have to, because it got to the point where my friends were calling me, and I'm not saying that you can't call me. I love when you guys call me, but
we'll put his number in the description.
The hotline, but you have to set up boundaries. Now, there's going to be times where somebody calls me, and I'm like, wow, they don't ever really call me.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yep.
But when it's the same, like, people reaching for your attention, and it's just that bad time, it's like they're gonna have to wait. Or sometimes I'll text them back, what's up, everything good? You know what I mean? And yeah, I just need to talk to you about this thing. I'm like, okay, you're just gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my family takes precedence over
Absolutely.
you, because clearly you're just not taking ownership or responsibility for what you need to take care of.
Yep.
So I'm not saying no names, so don't y'all go thinking, oh, he's talking about me. There's only a select few. Chances are y'all probably don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
So, but I think a time boundary, you don't have to be so reactive to pick up for everybody.
Yep.
You have to dedicate a certain time or a certain amount of time to a certain amount of friends.
Yep.
Or else they will just suck you dry.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys ever read the book Keep Your Love On by Danny Silk.
Nope.
Awesome book. It sounds like a corny title, but the beginning of that book, now it's a lot of how to build relationships, but it's centered around like marriage and stuff like that. But the core piece of it.
Yeah, we did.
Did you?
No, well, I didn't. I looked at it and I was like, nope.
Right. If you look at the cover of the book, it sounds like, as a man too, I'm like, this is gonna look cheesy. This is gonna be cheesy, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, that's not true. I did start it, and I was like, all right, you're not telling me anything I don't know already. So I was like,
well, true.
Yeah.
True. So as I was reading it, also he had some good nuggets, things I already knew but said differently.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. Even if I do know it, I like seeing it in a different form. That way it'll just solidify it in every angle for me.
Yeah, okay.
I love that.
Yeah.
So one thing I kind of held on to from that book was there's a difference between powerful people and powerless people. Do you remember that?
I don't. Maybe, but no, I don't think so.
So powerful people, they always set up a positive environment around them. They control their environment, right? Everything inside their environment is their responsibility to an extent, right? There are sometimes accidents happen, things, but everything within your control is your responsibility. And it's your job to set up a positive, welcoming environment for everybody.
Yep.
You control it. Powerless people will try to mooch off of your environment.
Right.
They latch onto you. Those are the stage 5 clingers. They latch onto you and try to drain you of your energy.
You know what I reference that as? It's being a thermostat versus a thermometer.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Like
you want to be the thermostat. You want to control the temperature.
Yes.
You don't just want to be constantly reacting to it.
Right. And so that's what he's saying. So powerful people control it, right? And powerless people, they're the ones, they don't feel like they have it in them to control their environment, so they react to yours, or they try to drain you and almost try to control you, or manipulate you, and that's what, we all have those friends that will try to drain you of your time and energy, because you kind of have what they need, right? But they just don't want to take the time to create that themselves, right? Take the ownership and create it themselves.
Yep.
So that's definitely one thing that I've always held on to. You know, I talk about one of my old jobs. I worked in a shop, and everybody there, after I read this book, is kind of where I started to build it there, because I was like, what greater place to try to test this thing out at this job. You know, this is the best place to do it, because everybody was just negative, like, oh, how horrible, it's Monday, you know, and the shop talk. You know, I'm here to make somebody else rich. You know what I mean? Like that's is a powerless person, you know, saying, oh, poor me, pity me. Or giving into the environment around you. Like there's shop talk going on, there's gossip, and they're giving into that gossip because they don't stand firm on their morals and values. Right. So, long story short, I started to put this thing into practice, and I told myself I wasn't going to talk bad about anybody. I wasn't going to spread any gossip. I wasn't going to give in to shop talk. I wasn't even going to swear. And that's when I started my journey on not swearing.
Yep.
And my boss, he was definitely a person that was like, he'll try to get under your skin, and if you're not reactive, he'd be like, hey, did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, man, I heard what you said. You know what I mean? He just wanted to make sure that you heard the dig, but it didn't affect you, right? And he'd come at you again. So I told myself I'm not going to give into any of that. So long story short, I stopped giving into all that stuff, and I think I've told you guys this story before. Yeah. It got to the point where people started coming to me and opening up to me about like the problems they started having at home.
Yep.
You know, because they knew that I wasn't going to go talk to other people. I wasn't going to talk about that behind their back, and I wasn't going to judge them. You know, but before all this started happening, they'd call me. This is when Monica and I we're trying to start our Christian clothing line. They'd always make fun of me. They'd be like, hey, how's those Jesus joggers working out for you? You know what I mean? They call me a Bible thumper and, you know, the Jesus freak and all that, you know, but I'm like, hey man, it is what it is. I'm here to spread the love of the Lord. You know what I mean? And, like I said, I got to learn so much about everybody there. Mm-hmm. For me, it brought me joy that I could talk to people like that.
Yep.
You know, and then it also helped me to see people's character and see, like how people deal with like an image issue, you know, big time. People really care about what other people think about them. You know, it's like me and this guy could have this conversation, and then at break time, he starts acting a different way. And I'm like, what other people in this shop think about you really matter to you. You know what I mean? So, like I said, long story short, it really opened up, and I created an environment. And I don't want to take like full credit for it. The Lord was working in my heart to create this space to be able to invite people into a safe place to be able to chat. Yep. You know what I mean? And I feel like it really changed the entire atmosphere of the shop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that book just solidified the difference between, you know, being powerful and powerless.
Yep.
Not reacting, you know, like you said,
yep.
You know, be the thermostat. Yep. You know, you're not reacting, you're controlling.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
I wonder if I can find it on YouTube. This it was a YouTube short, and there's these couple guys that were standing at a desk, and there was a whole line of guys. I want to say there was like 10 or 12, right? And each one of them came up, and they were all swagged, right? And the people at the desk were asking them, hey, what's the definition of an alpha male to you? And each one of these guys gave such like a worldly answer. You know, the man that can just demolish other men. The man that can make this amount of money, and like there was like all these worldly these worldly responses. I'm like, yo, these are not alpha males. And what came to me was what is an alpha male? Somebody that can control his environment.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That sets the standard. you
Yep.
know, controls the room, controls the space, is the thermostat. That's an alpha male.
Yeah.
You know, wow, that we took a left turn from relationships to.
Yeah.
I mean, it all ties in, right? if your idea of an alpha male is to dominate, you're gonna ruin a lot of relationships.
Yeah.
Right. I think we need to dominate in certain areas. You know, we've had that conversation in group in a that group chat before that we
Yeah.
have going. You know, we're supposed to be lambs until it's time to be a lion.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's an alpha male, one that can be a lion and a lamb, because that's what Jesus demonstrated.
Yep.
You know, so,
Absolutely. Dude, so going back to the original question, what kills relationships, right? One of mine, and I guess boundary technically, is dishonesty, right?
Dishonesty?
Dishonesty.
Yeah.
If you lie to me one time,
It's
it
hard.
doesn't matter how big or small, everything that you've ever said is now compromised.
Yep.
I can't take
Yeah.
anything that you've said seriously.
Yep.
That's my biggest thing in any sort of relationship that I'm in. If you lie to me, it's game over.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I can definitely agree. I think my spin on that, because this is a degree of dishonesty, is over exaggeration.
Yep.
That's a form of dishonesty.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I have a hard time when, because you can't trust. Was it really that bad?
Yeah.
You know, that's hard for me.
Embellishments.
What's that?
The embellishments.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so I agree. That's huge. You know, I guess that kind of goes along with loyalty. You know, you have here
Yeah.
loyalty is king.
Dude,
You know,
absolutely.
dishonesty. You're not
Absolutely.
loyal for-
I've called on people before. I'll be like, "Hey, I need something." I really try not to ever call anybody and say like I need something unless I actually do.
Yeah. Which is not a bad thing. Some people would call that prideful, but that's not a bad thing.
No.
I do the same thing.
No, if you know your limitations,
Right,
right? If
yeah.
I know I'm out of my depth with something, I'll be like, all right, listen, I need some help with this. Please
Yeah.
guide me. Do
Yeah,
something. Tell me
yep.
something.
Yep.
But, I remember one specific example. Like, I call this guy. I'm like, hey, listen, I need you to do X, Y, and Z for me. Yeah, I got you anytime, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. All right, cool. Day comes and goes.
Nothing.
Doesn't show up. I
Crickets.
Wait for him.
Yep.
Text him.
Yep.
Doesn't show up.
Yep.
Roger
Wow,
that.
I guess you and I have a lot in common. I
Yeah.
didn't think of these, but now that you're bringing them up, I'm like, yeah, I'm the same way, man.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I have a select few people that I call that I really know that I can. Actually, it's really just you and my other brothers, because I know that if I call, like, yeah, man, on the way.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, 100%. I'm the same way. You know what? You want to know what one of my things is? You know, you said that you know your limitations and you don't really call on people until you really need to. Sometimes I'm stubborn with that. I can be really stubborn with asking for help, because, and it's not that I don't want anybody else's help, and it's not really that. It's not really that I'm trying to stretch my limitations. Honestly, I get too hurried. And I feel like that's what the Lord has been talking to me about. I've been telling you guys, I get in too much of a rush to where I was like, I just want to get it done. I don't want to wait for anybody.
Yep.
I just want to get it done. When I built the deck at our old house, I can't tell you how many temporary posts I had up, just because I didn't want to call somebody and say, hey, can you just come over and be an extra hand and just hold this for me?
Yeah.
I had so many temporary posts up just because I wanted to get it done that day. You know what I mean? I think Monica came out and held something level for me like 2-3 times. But other than that, nah, man. I squared that thing up, and it was a decent sized deck. It was like a 16 by 14, so it wasn't like massive, but it was decent. You know, it's where an extra hand could have helped.
Yeah.
You know, but I was just being
sure.
stubborn.
Yep.
You know, so one thing that could kill relationships is being stubborn.
Yeah.
Being stubborn.
What?
What's that?
Hard-headedness.
Hard-headedness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, my
hard-headed.
head is apparently very hard.
Yes, we all know that.
Yeah.
As like you're stubborn?
No. Well,
Both.
both. Literally hard. My forehead.
Oh, like
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, lots of years of just grinding it on people.
Well, yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
That's understandable. Hey, at least you no concussions.
Nah, well, my brain still gets rattled.
Yeah.
That's why I can't finish sentences sometimes. But
Oh, okay. I got you.
but the forehead itself is solid.
Right.
There's no getting through that thing.
Right. So one of the reasons why we kind of wanted to have this conversation with relationships, and I know we're kind of just getting into this now, kind of deeper into the podcast, but one thing we need to realize is that everything in life, and this is why it's important to know how to build good relationships, is everything in life is a relationship.
Yep.
Everything.
Yep.
Your relationship with your mom, your dad, brother, sister. So you have your family relationships, your work relationships, your business relationships, true friendships we just talked about.
Yep.
You know the difference between true friendships and acquaintances because they are different.
Yep.
I used to have many, many, many acquaintances that I would call friendships.
Yeah.
I learned that the hard way, man. I learned that the hard way. I would call on people that I thought were friends, but they weren't. Stuff like that. You have romantic relationships, parental relationships. And some people are only good at either one or a few of these.
Yeah.
Some people could have a really good business relationship. Like they just grind hard at their job. They know how to get business in and treat the customers right, but they're a completely different person at home.
Yep.
Right? Or somebody's knows how to build a good family, but they don't know how to treat customers, or when they're out and about, they treat other people foul, but they're really good with their family. Like we should know how to build quality relationships in all of these areas,
Yeah.
right? And it's pretty simple. You were going to say something?
Oh no, I was just agreeing. And like, I mean, also, what's your relationship? I mean, fitness-based podcast, right? What's your relationship with the gym? What's your relationship with food? What's
Right.
your relationship with,
Right.
yourself?
With yourself.
I mean, shit.
Right.
You're gonna have to beep that one out.
Yeah, and even so, let's go a step further. Let's get all the way down to, I don't know, we've said this before, but even like you have a relationship with your car. If you take
All right,
care
listen, that's different. Nobody can take that relationship away from me.
are we talking about your GTO?
Yes.
Tell them about the GTO.
She's a dear sweetheart. No one can take that away.
What's
from
your
me. That
anniversary for your
relationship-
GTO?
It was like a couple weeks ago, end of middle of September 17th.
But you don't know the
I
exact
think.
date?
September 17th is when I picked it up.
What's your anniversary for your actual wife?
Oh, which one? Not which one. Not which one.
All right, so the anniversary of your marriage, not when you guys first started dating. Listen, as a man, I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Thank God, because that sounded like which wife.
I know.
Oh my God.
No.
September 27th, ladies and
All
gentlemen.
right, good. So we know that
God. Dodge that bus.
Sorry, I feel like I set you up for that.
Dude, it's all good.
Are you guys still married? Or are we going to have marriage counseling?
Oh, I'm sweating. I'm laughing so much. I'm sweating.
Oh, man.
Man, these lights are hot. They're
Yeah.
hotter than usual.
Oh, man. So
Well, that was the intro.
yeah, right. So like I said, let's take it a step further. Everything is a relationship, and relationship, whatever you put into a relationship, whatever you give life to and energy to, whatever you give energy to, you give life, right?
Yep.
So it's reciprocal, right? Relationships need to be reciprocal, all right? If you take care of your car will take care of you.
Yep.
You take care of your house
Yep.
house will take care of you.
Yep.
You take care of your body will take care of you, right?
Absolutely.
You take care of the people around you. In turn, they should take care of you.
Should. Yeah.
Right? If we're living the way the Lord has taught us to live,
Yeah.
nobody should be without service.
Right.
Nobody, right? There shouldn't be any homeless people,
Shouldn't be.
but it's because of selfishness that there's homeless people. Granted, homeless people are there for a reason, maybe the choices that they
Yeah.
made, right? But what if everybody was treating the homeless people and had the same thoughts that I had about this guy over here?
Yep.
And what if everybody reacted instantly and acted on every thought they had? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Nobody will get set free, you know?
Yeah.
And the Lord tells us to take care of the homeless, take care of the poor, you know? Because maybe that's their chance to be lifted back up, you know? So, building good relationships, to get back to the podcast, is
Yeah.
a lot like fitness.
Yep.
A few things I have down, that it's different for everybody. I have a different relationship with you than I do with my sister.
I would hope so.
Absolutely. I have a different relationship with, friends at church and other friends I have outside of church. Not saying that I act differently.
Yes.
Those relationships are different.
Yeah.
So I can joke and say something to you, and I know you'll take it jokingly.
Yeah.
I could say it the same way to somebody else and they'd get offended.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. 100%.
But I know Justin.
Yeah.
I know we can have this. I can say certain things to you that I can't say to somebody else.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So those relationships are different for everybody. Just like each program in fitness is different for everybody.
Yep.
Right?
100%.
They take time, consistency, and patience to build. Just like fitness.
Yeah, dude.
Right?
Yeah. Emphasis on that there patience part.
Oh,
and
yeah.
also emphasis on the consistency part.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't just be a friend on Sundays.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
You got to be there, I think Nate, when he was preaching not long ago, he said our best ability is our availability. Now, that doesn't mean you destroy your boundaries, right? Love
Yeah.
is supposed to be inconvenient. But there's a time and a place.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if I'm with my family and it's not an absolute emergency, I'm sorry you're getting a hard no.
Yeah.
You know
Yes.
what I mean? You're going to have to take a responsibility for yourself.
Yep.
But any other time, if there's an emergency and
Got you.
exactly,
Yeah.
right? With you,
Yep.
right? That's
Yeah.
what we say, with you. They take sacrifice. Just like the gym, you have to sacrifice your wants, needs, desires, right? To get this thing done.
Mm-hmm.
Building good relationships take sacrifice. Do you know how much I have personally sacrificed to have my kids, to have a wife?
Right.
And I'm thankful that I did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I was in my 20s, man, all I wanted to do was make money and build cars. That's all I wanted to do, man. And make music and work out.
That is the ultimate man dream, right there.
That's all I wanted to do,
Yeah.
man. In my 20s,
Yeah.
all I wanted to do. And my sister-in-law always told me, Steven, you should do this, you should do that. And at the time, she was in her 30s. And I wish I would have, she's going to love this one. I wish I would have listened to her at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I would have saved so much money. I would have met Monica sooner. You know what I mean? Would have had kids sooner, but
Would you still have had the Camaro?
so you know how some people say like no regrets.
Yeah.
The only thing I regret,
Yeah.
getting rid of the Camaro.
Yeah.
Getting rid of the Camaros. I've had 4 Camaros already.
Yeah.
We won't go there, dude.
Yeah.
We went through that. So to this date, I've had 22 cars. My entire driving experience, I've had 22 cars.
Yeah.
So, I'd still have the Camaro or the Jeep, either or. Maybe the Jeep. I probably would have kept. No, I would have the Camaro. I'm not.
Yeah.
Stop playing. I would have
Yeah,
the
no,
Camaro.
you don't want the Jeep.
Yeah.
It's a Chrysler product. We don't like Chrysler products around here.
So I've sacrificed a lot, but the good thing is, Monica sacrificed a lot too.
Yep.
For me.
Yeah.
I've sacrificed a lot for her. I've sacrificed a lot for the kids. We've sacrificed a lot to build this family to what it is now, man. And I'm grateful for it.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
wouldn't change it, So it's like you have to give up that old to get the new. But sometimes we're so stuck in that old, like that selfishness, like, no, I don't want to give it up. I don't want to give it up. But it's like, yo, there's something better.
Yeah.
There's something better.
It's just waiting for you.
Right. And I think Jesus modeled that the best. He sacrificed himself so that we could get the better portion of that. There was something better on the other side of that.
Yeah.
And in the moment, nobody saw it. Like, think of Peter. Peter was like, that'll never happen to you. We can't let this happen. And Jesus was like, yo, step off. Okay.
Settle down.
Yeah. Sit down. So, sacrifice, man. It takes sacrifice. You have to know what's working and what's not, and then change it fast.
Right.
Right. So in the gym, we could do something for a month or two, and by that time, you should know that it's working, and if it's not working, right?
Yeah.
In a relationship, if your attitude ain't working, if you guys keep getting into fights, You need to work it out.
Yep.
Change it. Something. One thing that I said to, I had this conversation with John years ago. Monica and I have only argued like 3 times. Like,
Yep.
I mean, like a good argument, like 3 times. Out of the 12 years that we've been together, we only had like 3 hard arguments. One thing that her and I have been really good at is when we're in those arguments, I never talk to her like she's just some other girl. I never talk to her like I never disrespect her or yell at her or swear at her as if she's like one of my boys.
Yeah.
I've always talked to her like this is still my wife.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I need to honor her in that way.
Yep.
Right?
That's a very valuable lesson that is hard to learn for a lot of dudes, especially blue collar guys and,
Yes.
and like the people that are surrounded constantly by like the bro thing and
Yes.
like, you know, the alpha male stuff.
Yeah.
Like that sort of dude, the way that we talk, you know, at work or out and about at the gym, whatever.
Yep.
Like that absolutely can bleed if you let it. It can
Yes.
absolutely bleed into your
Yes.
relationship and it can
Yep.
poison that thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So you really, really got to be careful, especially us married gentlemen out there. And I use gentlemen lightly.
Yep.
Like we got to be very careful with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Treating our wives differently and kind of holding them up on a bit of a pedestal, not worshiping,
Right.
not worshiping them,
Right.
but putting them up on a pedestal because they are, you know, separate. They're ours. They are, you know, special.
Yeah, 1,000%. You know, and it's that level of respect. You know, like I believe is it Proverbs? It's Proverbs, or was it? No, it's Paul when it gives the orders to the Christian household, where it says, "Men love your wives," and it says, "Wives respect your husbands." So where we get it mixed up is people think that men and women love the same. We
Yeah,
don't. We don't. Women love to be loved, truly loved, not to be looked at as just some piece of meat, right? We don't go to you just
Right.
for a thing, right? Or because we want something. No, women need to be loved. Men, we feel love through respect,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
When our women respect us, we feel loved, we feel appreciated. So the Bible nails it right on the head. So when we argue with each other, I need to talk to her as if I still love her always.
Yep.
And she needs to talk to me as she respects me always.
Yep.
And that's how we come to that middle ground.
Yep.
You know? So if something's not working, maybe first check your communication. How are you talking to each other? You know what I mean? What are you not talking about? Or sometimes, here's the biggest one, bro, is it could be something as, hey, this is what I meant to say, but it didn't come out like that. I'm sorry that I said it that way. Maybe I could say it differently.
How many times have we had that conversation?
But it's a growing thing.
Yeah.
It's a growing thing.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I'm abrasive, and I try not to be a
Yeah.
lot of the time.
Yeah.
But I do. There are moments where I can be quite abrasive. And you know, sometimes that comes out. Like I'll just say something.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
And it comes out very aggressive.
Right.
And I
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
don't mean it like that.
Yeah.
But I'll think about what I just said. And I'm like, babe, I'm sorry.
That was the rough draft. You got to say that now. Sorry, that was the rough draft. Can you help me formulate it better? You know?
Can you send that to my editor, please?
Yeah,
I need to just.
Yeah, type that into AI. How could I have said that better?
Yeah.
You know? But at least she knows, like, we're not perfect.
Yeah.
We're not perfect. You know, there's a bunch of things that one thing that I feel like is one of my strengths is communicating. I feel like I communicate pretty decent. One of my faults could be I could jump to conclusions too fast.
Okay.
So one thing that I've worked on, and I don't think I do that a whole lot now. In the beginning, I definitely did.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I found that I had to do, you know, like with Monica is ask more questions. You know what I mean? So instead of me being like, well, you know, I think this goes like this, You know what I mean? Or just not listening enough. I said, all right, this isn't working, so I need to ask more questions. Ask her more questions.
Right.
You know what I mean? What is it that she's actually thinking instead of me thinking I know what she's thinking? You know what I mean? Because that doesn't work.
Right.
You know, you can't read minds. You know, so communication, guys. Ask questions. Think before you say something. You know, or even like tonality. You know, you could. It sounds fluffy, right? When we say, "Well, watch your tone." Sometimes it's like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like that. You know, sometimes you can come off sounding like a real D head. You know what I mean? You gotta watch what you say. But like I said, I can say certain things to you that I can't say to other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In basically whatever tone you want.
In any tone I want, right? and I know that you'll just look at me. Oh, all right, fair enough. You know what I mean? Because you don't take it like that.
Yeah.
You know. So you have to know what's working, what's not. Change it. Also, you have to know if the relationship is working. If a relationship is not working and it's one-sided, yes, try to fix it. But sometimes you just have to cut it off.
Yep.
Sometimes there's relationships that are just so leechy, where they're just trying to suck you dry.
Yep.
That it's like, hey, you have to go through a season of just going through and just chopping them limbs, just cutting them cords, you know. And sorry, man, maybe not right now is the season for you and I to vibe. You know what I mean? Love them and don't cut it off on bad terms. But you know, I've had to. And I don't ever have that conversation where I'm like, hey, you and I can't be friends anymore. I just distance myself a little bit. I'll stop reaching out a little bit. Yeah. You know, and then maybe the time will come, we'll reach back out and we'll connect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'll never just
That hard cut off.
I'll never hit somebody with a hard cut off, be like, yo, you and I, we ain't vibing. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Never. Like I said, I like to keep an open door. But I will start to just distance myself. That's it. Quietly. I'll like slowly start to ghost. You know what I mean? Because that's what works for me, you know? Next one. Always asking yourself, how can I be better?
We got the cheater sheet over there. I don't have the full cheater sheet.
I sent you the file.
Yeah,
Remember?
but that's on my phone, dog.
Oh.
It's all good. It's all. Oh, that's how you do that.
Oh, yeah, sorry. That was my bad, poor communication. I'm sorry. Now that we're halfway into the podcast, you want to review these notes before we start. So yeah, always ask yourself, how can I be better? I actually liked what you said the other night at group. You know, you said that people should always want to be better.
Yeah, dude. It doesn't. Being better too is not a. You don't need to go from never touching a weight and using it a fitness reference, right?
Right.
You don't need to go from never touching a weight to Mr. Olympia in a year.
Right.
You know,
right,
like
right.
or a day.
Mm-hmm.
Let's use a day. Make it really an extreme example.
Yeah.
You know, like no.
Yeah.
Like, that dude didn't get there in 24 hours.
Right.
What makes you think you will?
Right.
Number one. Number two.
Right.
Take the time.
Yeah.
Just progress.
Yeah.
Dude, you know,
Enjoy the process.
well, A, enjoy the process, but B, just this whole thing, man, is about just trying to be a little bit better than you were yesterday.
Yeah.
Whether that be in relationships, in the gym, wherever. Like, you know, I want to treat her differently in a more positive way. I want to treat her better.
Yeah.
Every single day, even if it's just a little thing.
Right.
Gotta just be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I didn't like the way I handled that situation. Let me just
Yeah.
click that notch. And,
Yep.
okay, let's dial that back, dial that up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just make little changes.
Yeah.
And over time, you'll become a completely different person.
Yeah.
If you just make those little adjustments, you'll be a different man.
Yeah. I always joke with Monica. I think I say it to her probably 2-3 times a week. You know, like if it feels like I have. So we both work from home, but we hardly get a lot of time to spend with each other.
Yep.
Right? Because we're always tag teaming. If I'm doing something, so there's a lot of things I can do with the kids around. But other than that, there's things where I'm like, I just gotta wait for Monica to get out of work so she can take the kids and I can do what I need to do.
Yep.
And it's like that all the time, right? And a couple times a week, I'll just hug her and be like, "You ain't sick of me yet?" You know what I mean? And she's like, sick of you. I don't get enough of you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And we'll just always have that conversation of, how can I serve you better? Like I'll genuinely ask her, how can I serve you better? You know what I mean? It sounds corny, but it just takes that one question to let her know that, hey, I can just talk about what might be on my heart, that I may feel like I'm not getting from him.
Yep.
And honestly, it always comes down to, I just want more time with you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. When we first started dating, we sat down and had that conversation. We were like, hey, listen, like, how did that go? Basically, it was more or less, what do you need in a relationship? Like, what do we each other
Yeah.
require?
Yep.
And just being brutally honest with one another,
Yeah.
and setting the standard of
Yeah.
what we expect from one
Right.
another, and being very clear with it.
Yeah.
And that honesty, and that, just being completely transparent
Yeah.
with each other, it allowed us both to be able to know how to love the other person,
Right.
in the way that they needed to,
Yeah.
right? So huge, very important,
Yeah.
very important thing.
Monica and I did kind of the same thing when we first started dating. So we met in college, and that's a whole long story in itself. But when we first started talking too, we kind of did the same thing. What were your past hurts in your relationship? What didn't you like about them?
Yeah.
How could you and I be better?
Yep.
You know what I mean? It almost sounds like a car salesman.
Yeah.
Like, what did you not like about your past experience, and how could we close this deal today? You know what I mean? How can we stop the shop?
Yeah. Oh,
You know what I mean?
God, dude.
You remember
Could you
that?
imagine saying that to a woman?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
How do we close this deal today?
Yeah. Yeah. Sign the papers here. But no, we have that conversation pretty often. And it's become like a lighter. I don't know. It wasn't even like a heavier conversation before, but it's become so easy and natural.
Yeah.
To where it just becomes a part. It's not like a conversation we have to say like, hey, let's have this conversation. It's literally just, we're going to bed. It's like,
Yeah.
babe, just want to let you know, I know it's busy. I love you. I miss you. Is there anything I can do for you?
You set the standard.
Yes.
That's the thing. You set the standard of, this is how we operate in
Yeah.
this relationship.
Right.
And you can only go from right here now.
Yeah.
You can't just go from not communicating at all to then all of the communication. No, you set that bar,
Right.
and you're like, this is where it is.
Right.
This is where it needs to be in order
Yep.
for this to work.
Yeah.
Do as you will.
Isn't that like just for life in general? Like you have to set that standard.
Oh, yeah.
Even like, like your relationships with your friends, with your business, with your family. Like I tell my kids, to have a good relationship with your kids, you have to set a standard in the household.
Yep.
My kids have to know that I require. Now, I don't have a performance-based relationship with my kids. My kids, we have a very loving relationship, but it's not performance-based. But because I love my kids and I treat them a certain way and I set a certain standard,
They want
my
to perform
kids
for you.
want to perform
Yep.
better. Right? If you start to have a performance-based relationship with somebody, they automatically don't want to do anything for you. Even in the workplace, think of a workplace that is only numbers driven. You don't want to do anything for them. They don't care about us. They just care about their pockets. They just care about the numbers, right?
Yeah.
But we have all had that one boss that have. I've had three bosses that I can actually say have been there for the employees 100%, and because they were who they were and how they treated us, we wanted to work for them. I didn't care about upper management. I was like, yo, you know what? Because of my relationship with you, I want to work the overtime for you. I want to get you out of this pickle.
Yep.
Like we're in this together.
Yep. That's Yep.
So
Very true.
When you have that relationship with your family, you should have that relationship with your friends too. You know what I mean? So setting that standard, I think, is a big deal. You should have a standard
Right.
throughout your entire relationships.
And then number 6 here, you have to have self-control, right? So you have to hold yourself to that standard, and that
Yes.
requires self-control and self-discipline.
Yeah.
Right? If you just fly off the handle all the time,
Yeah.
which I mean, I'm definitely guilty of.
We
I'm
all
a
have.
very
Yeah, we
high
all have.
testosterone individual. so I'm prone to that.
Yeah.
I'm human.
Yeah.
However, living in that
Yeah.
is very different than, you know, if I do something that I regret, immediately, boom, right then and there, repent, say, hey, listen, I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
I need to correct this, and then actually change
Yeah.
your behavior in the future.
Yeah.
You know.
That right there, bro, what you just said is the biggest thing for people to do is to apologize.
Oh yeah, I do it all the
Dude.
time.
Dude,
That's not
that
true,
is
actually.
that is one of the biggest things. Like, I feel like I've talked to more people and have to talk them into saying, well, what did you do? Did you go talk to them about what you did?
Yeah.
Well, no, that's BS. They need to. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but what are you doing? Take ownership of what you did.
Yeah,
And that set. So when you don't do that and you hold on to that frustration, the amount of cortisol that your body releases
yeah,
is not worth it. Just be a man. Go and admit you're wrong. Be like, listen, hey, I'm sorry I did this. I didn't mean to. I should have said it better. Well, I'm sorry. Will you forgive me? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And you just took it off your chest. You showed to be the bigger man, and you let it all go. You admitted your wrongs. And if they don't want to, you just say, hey, man, I'm going to love you regardless.
Yep.
I'm going to love you regardless because I have control.
yep.
I have control. When you're ready, I'm here.
Yeah, there was one situation, right? This dude at work, when I first started there, you know, new guy, right? So, I just, whatever, we were bantering, right?
Yeah.
And he took serious offense to like what I said.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything crazy, but whatever.
Yeah.
Story for different time and place. But long story short, he ended up like we were yelling at each other. Well,
Yeah.
he was yelling at me, and I was speaking calmly and being a, you know, just very
Mature.
smug. No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
Thanks for the credit, though.
Yeah, but yeah, well, at least you admit it.
Yeah,
You're like, no,
yeah.
it really wasn't. And that
No.
was before Christ.
Yeah, yeah. So I was being a little smug, right?
Yep.
But I went home, and this is what I mean when you say taking ownership. This is the situation that I think of for myself. I went home and I was fired up.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, F this guy, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, a couple days go by and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take ownership of this relationship right here. I'm not going to let this be the thing that makes me not like coming to work. So I said, all right, how can I change to make him my best friend? He's going to be my best friend now.
Ooh, that's powerful.
Dude.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So
okay.
after a couple weeks, you know, I just slowly, you know, I never apologized to him for that. But over time, I just talk to him and
Yep.
treat him, you know, with respect, and
Yep.
that was it. And after a while, he ended up, you know, he's like one of my bros in the shop now.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm like, all right, cool, mission
Yeah.
successful.
Yeah. Isn't that
Like,
crazy, man?
And you know what? At the end of the day, it made the whole entire environment way better. There's
Yeah.
not tension. There's
Yep.
not this whole
Yup.
blah, 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 blah,
Yep.
BS stuff. No, dude, just become his best friend.
Yeah.
I went from like his least favorite person in the world to like we're bros now, and I like tackle him if I see him.
Yeah.
Out of
that's-
love.
Right.
Out of
but
love.
that is a alpha male right there. You controlled your environment and you controlled yourself.
Right.
Like that is the ultimate alpha male, right? You were a lion when you weren't really supposed to be a lion. but what overcame and conquered that situation was you genuinely being a lamb. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of men can't do that.
Yeah.
A lot of men don't know when it's time to be a lamb.
Yeah.
In any relationship, whether it's work, business, you know, I mean, it's very hard at work, especially you and I were working blue collar for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, and
Still am.
yeah, it's hard to be that in those environments.
Absolutely.
You know, when I was in the union, everybody was a one-upper. You know, if you fell 25 feet off of a ladder, somebody fell 26.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And worked the rest of the day.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very hard to have that type of mentality in those environments. But that is the best place to build that character trait.
Yep.
Because it's so hard. It's so hard when everybody's trying to be or look like an alpha male.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you show up being a lamb.
Trial by fire, homie.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Moving on to what you had here.
Yeah, so everything is a team sport. Even even if it's not like, right. So you have things like sports like wrestling, boxing, jiu-jitsu, whatever, any sort of track, right?
Yep.
Any sort of combat sport, anything where you're doing something by yourself,
Right.
right? Those are all individual efforts,
Right.
but they're not. You need a
Right.
trainer, you need a coach, you need,
Right.
for fighters, right? You need sparring partners.
Yeah.
You need, a whole training camp.
Right.
People professional level fighters. You need people to cook for you. You need this, that, the other thing.
Right.
Like, there's so many people behind the scenes that go into that, 12 rounds of, or 5 rounds or 3 rounds of fight.
Right.
There's so much time and people behind that.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to, even powerlifters. I forgot powerlifters.
Yeah, yeah.
All my weight people out there. Sorry, dude. You got to make that environment where the right people are around you. You're motivated. They're pushing you.
Right.
You have a solid relationship with everything and everybody around
Yep.
you, and that will absolutely make the difference between an average gym goer and like when you go to the gym. Ask somebody to spot you. There's a friend right there, and
Yep.
then that person, if they are the right person, they're gonna push you and they're gonna
Yeah.
make you a little bit better. And if you see them all the time in the gym,
Yep.
be friends with them, man.
Yep.
Train together. They will make you 10 times better than you
Yeah.
could ever be on your own. That's a huge thing. Like, I've done it. I've trained alone and I've trained with people.
Yeah.
And I prefer training with people. Right? The right people.
Right,
Not being in
right.
like, just anybody.
Right.
The right people.
Right.
It makes a huge difference.
Well, they say, you are who you hang around.
Right.
Environment shapes behavior. What's that one? It's like a financial quote where it's like, I can tell you how much money you're going to make by the 5 people you hang around.
Yeah.
Right. Like, your network is your net worth. There's so many ways you could say that thing. Right.
Yep.
But environment shapes behavior. Why do people get into drugs? It's because of the people they were hanging around.
yeah.
Why did I get into lifting? It's because I grew up people that did it. You know what I mean? The same reason you did. Why did you get into combat sports? Why do we do anything that we do?
I think I might have been the first one in my family to ever box or wrestle, or not wrestle. Sorry, my uncles will get really mad at me if I say that. But definitely like anything fighting MMA.
But what? So here's the other thing. You don't actually have to be around the thing that's influencing you. You could just be exposed to it.
Yeah.
Right. So, for me, like, if anybody knows me, I'm like, well, we are super, super into cars, right? I only got into cars just because I used to watch them a lot, or we used to go to like a lot of car shows, and I was exposed to it, right? And then my uncles, they built too, but it's like my best friends weren't building cars,
Right.
You know what I mean? But we used to go to car shows all the time.
Yep.
And like that, it planted that seed.
Right.
Sometimes all it takes is, man, I could go. That's a whole nother
Faith,
video in
mustard
itself,
seed,
man.
that whole
Oh,
thing, right?
man.
Is that what you're going with it?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
all it takes is a seed, bro. All it takes is a seed, and you water that thing, and that's where it grows.
Yep.
And your friendships and your environment is the same thing. You are who you hang around. So make sure that you always have good people around you. Know how to build good quality relationships that attract the people that need to be around you, or
Yes.
that attract the people that you need around you.
Yes, absolutely.
Because
That's a big thing.
going back to the joke in the beginning, if you're a D-head, you're gonna attract D-heads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just how it is. You're gonna, if you hang around those type of people, you're going to become one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the Lord says to guard our hearts, right? Guard our hearts and don't let anything in it. What we're exposed to is, garbage in, garbage out. Right. Whatever you feed your mind is so powerful, man, but it's weak at the same time. Right.
Very.
It's weak because it's easily exposed and
I wouldn't say weak. I would say fallible.
Okay. Yeah. Or even like sensitive.
Yeah.
Like it's sensitive and fallible of what it's exposed to.
Right.
Like it
can be deceived.
Yes. And then it's powerful it's powerful because of what it can do
Right.
with what it has.
Yes.
So you really got to be careful of who you're around. So
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. Well, I think that's all for today.
Yeah. This is gonna be a multi part thing.
Multi.
This isn't gonna be like for the next few weeks. This is gonna be like we'll sprinkle these in
Yeah.
throughout the episodes that
Yeah.
we do record.
Definitely let us know what you guys think about these. We're here to help as much as we can. Not saying that all our advice is correct, but
I'm always right.
There you go, being stubborn. But this is what we've learned over our experience, and this is what we've learned through our walk with the Lord also. So you guys have, the comment section is for you to put your 2 cents in. I said only put 2, don't put 3. Keep it shout.
The number that shall be counted shall be 3, no more, no less.
Pick number 3, my lord. What movie's that from? Come on, y'all.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Pick number
Shrek.
That's right.
I was quoting Monty Python.
Oh, wow, I was quoting Shrek.
Little humor difference there, but hey, whatever.
Well, I'm a parent.
That's
I watch
fair.
all the
fair.
kid shows, so all I have is kid humor.
Yeah, I've got. Somehow I ended up with British humor in my life.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
So, like I said, guys, let us know what you think about this content in this video. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Maybe you guys have different experiences, but definitely love to hear what you have to say. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, hit those bell notifications so that you're notified every time that we post a new video, and we'll see you guys on the next one.